Welcome back to the Steve and Tyler show. Not Steve and Tyler, not that guy from Aerosmith. You know, he made a couple good songs.
He is still not us.
I mean, let's be realistic. The best thing that he did was his daughter. So, but the Steve and Tyler show. It's the Steve and Tyler show. Now the purpose. What?
Is she attractive?
Yeah, she's pretty hot. You ever seen Lord of the Rings? Like she's.
No, I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Pretty beautiful. Anyway,
wow.
The purpose of this show. I know I said beautiful, not hot, like the respectful term.
That's nice.
That's what I said. Women don't appreciate it, though. Purpose of the show.
You can see the tears. I can hear your tears from here.
It is episode 5.
Steve, I'm surprised we made it this far.
Shut up, Tyler. It's all right. The commies wouldn't keep us down. Commies
Our monument will stand tall.
Yeah, build that bitch high. We ain't coming down for nobody.
Don't matter how many ladders you got.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to climb up that motherfucker. Like the Washington Monument times 4. You ain't got none.
Times 4. That's a lot.
That's a really...
I would have settled for times 2, but times 4 is just...
no, that ain't never going to happen. But this is episode 5. This is unbelievable.
Like I said, shocked.
No, I'm actually, now that I really think about it, I'm not laughing hysterically. It's, well, we got lucky, I guess.
Feeling sentimental.
I mean, never know.
We wouldn't have made it this far without you, the fans.
Yeah, the fans, all fucking 5 of you that listen.
I think we're up to 10 on Podbean, so.
That's right. We got 10 subscribers on Podbean.
I think the problem is we can't see on iTunes. It's weird. iTunes is the worst.
That's dumb. Anyway, if you do happen to listen and you do happen to enjoy the show,
what the hell's wrong with you?
For the love of God, tell us. Send us, talk to us on Twitter.
Stroke my ego, please.
Here, shameless plug. At Steve Tyler _show. We do have a Gmail, Tyler, our Gmail, which they can send what to?
Dick pics.
Dick pics. With meaty clack.
You see how formal I was? Dick pics. Dick pics.
Dick pics. I can't say it's Gmail. Steve and Tyler show at gmail.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes, and for the love of God, please follow us on Podbean at the Steve and Tyler show, because you know what? We're hysterical. I will make you laugh. If I don't, I'll make you cry because I don't give a shit. And it's just a lot of fun.
Why would you make him cry? Just gonna hit him in the head or something?
I mean, sometimes
cut
they
some
deserve
onions right around him.
Sometimes they deserve it, don't they?
I don't know. They're the people. Gotta love the people.
Gotta love the masses.
Right,
now, this first topic we got here, Tyler. This first topic is kind of controversial, but I don't care.
The people have wanted us to talk about this. I don't know why.
I don't either. I disagree with this. I mean, the people typically...
The topic in general just makes me upset. We've gotten multiple emails asking why we haven't talked about it. Because, let's be honest, we don't really have a filter. We talk about whatever the hell we want.
Oh, yeah, we're going to make fun of people now.
We swear a lot. Use a lot of derogatory terms. We don't really care. But we haven't talked about this.
People are going to go home crying.
We're finally talking about abortion. Fucking Oregon.
You know what? We really have neglected to talk about it.
We really have. It's been intentional. I didn't want to talk about it.
Well, I mean, I wanted to talk about it because obviously.
Now we're here. Someone finally made moves, and they weren't in the news, and that's why we exist. Oregon.
So this first.
Oregon,
you suck. You suck hardcore. Oregon passes most extreme pro-abortion policy in the nation, and they're celebrating.
Well, I'm sure they're having rallies in the streets in Oregon.
Oh, I bet they are. I bet they're not punching no Nazis though. Now, Oregon Governor Kate Brown signed into law a bill Tuesday requiring taxpayers to fund abortions through health insurance claims for both citizens and undocumented immigrants. This term absolutely boils my blood. I hate it in the undocumented immigrants. You're illegal. Illegal. This shit absolutely infuriates me like none other. You're illegal. You're not undocumented, you liberal fucks. The measure, which is being labeled as one of the most extreme pro-abortion policies in the nation, makes Oregon the first state to strong-arm taxpayers to fund all abortions, all, including sex selection abortions in the late term. Are you fucking kidding me?
Late term? That's not even...
Like Hillary! This is what Hillary wanted! Literally, she ran on this! She ran on this topic!
Let's just make it clear. I don't agree with any abortions. You're killing a person.
Good.
But even like some of the people that are more moderate on this topic don't think you should be having late abortions. I mean,
all right, let's be realistic. For me, myself, I guess, I mean, if by your standards, I guess I would be more moderate because if you did not have the testing and you do not know before you become a mother and it turns out, oh yeah, well, you're gonna die if you give birth. That's a little different for me. Or if you're raped, but what is that, Tyler? 1%.
I just don't like how they take these small numbers and say that it's the major case.
Oh my God, it's so important. Like, we need to make sure that, like,
you are killing a person.
The mother is safe,
and killing another living person. That's what it comes down to.
You're murdering people. I don't want to hear your bullshit.
You can call it abortion. You can call it whatever the hell you want. It doesn't change.
You're murdering a soul that God granted. So, I mean, hey, if you want to be a piece of shit, that's fine. I wish we had the bleep button. I mean, that's would be half the show would be. We'll have to work on that. Maybe we'll work.
The whole show will just be a long bleep.
Beep. I mean, but
be like the longest answering machine beep I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, that'd be real. Go ahead and leave your message after the beep. I mean, but no, this is absolutely trash. I have my stance on it, and obviously I feel that Tyler does also, but that's literally 1%, and I believe it's actually under 1% of these abortions because most of them are just, I guess minorities going to say, you know what, I don't want this one. But I mean, hey, who wants to speak truths when you have facts to back them? Anyway, not only is it not all right that citizens in general are allowed to have abortions whenever they want, because Tyler, that's what this is. But now they're calling undocumented immigrants illegal. They're illegal aliens. This really, God, if there is,
there's just no rules in Oregon.
No, there isn't.
Do whatever you want. Be illegal.
If you haven't listened to our show before, you now know that
we talk a lot of shit on Oregon, don't we?
No, and I don't think it's Oregon. I think it's illegal immigrants.
No, I meant like the state.
They are
like
trash.
The state is just, every week they just seem like they're doing something crazy.
I mean, let's be realistic. It's either Oregon or it's Seattle. It's Washington. They're trash. Or I mean, come on, they're garbage. Well, you know what? I think that abortion should be legal and acceptable by every single person, even if they're undocumented and illegal. So I think that, you're trash. You're absolute garbage. I absolutely wish zero positive things on you. The argument is it's a feminist issue, Steve. We can't repel. No,
we can't.
No, it's not. Oh my God.
We're holding back the women. 50%. It's like half and half are pro-choice versus pro-life for women.
Tyler, I know we didn't prep this, but women were created by God to do what for man? To be a companion of man. Companion! Not the ruler of man, which is what they're trying to do. That's my personal opinion. That is also in the Bible. But regardless, I mean, hey, who reads the good book?
We talking about Muhammad's book?
I mean, yeah, the Quran. Oh yeah,
the new good book, Steve.
We
Take
need
some
to.
Notes.
Everybody should go ahead and strap on a bomb, C4, to the new bomb vest, and then walk into the market, like and
So we haven't talked about abortion, and we wouldn't have, but
Yep.
someone else made moves on abortion at the same time.
This is why we would not talk about abortion, because
The
apparently Steve
great
gets pissed
state
off.
of Texas
Texas!
bans taxpayer
Woo!
funding of abortion.
Texas!
I'd like, yeah, we're clapping.
Yeah! Woo! Texas, they did what? They permanently banned taxpayer funding of abortion. America! Woo! All day. This is a huge win. An absolutely humongous win for America. This man.
If you're gonna get an abortion, first of all, I already disagree with you, right?
You're a piece of shit.
But if you want to pay for it yourself, you shouldn't require everyone else to chip in.
No! Pay for it
Yourself!
yourself!
Wow!
You are actively choosing to murder somebody! God, man, see, I gotta stop yelling at people because you're stupid!
Steve, we're only like 10 minutes into the show and you're gonna lose your voice.
Are we really 10 minutes in? Oh, man,
that's why we don't talk about abortion. That's why
it's gonna be a long show. August 15th, 2017, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill to restrict state funding for abortion insurance. Thank you, Jesus!
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mr. Abbott. The new law will keep Texans from having to pay for elective abortions through their insurance plans. As a firm believer in Texas values, I am proud to sign legislation that ensures no Texan is ever required to pay for a procedure that ends the life of an unborn child. That is a quote from Governor Abbott. Yes!
I don't want to pay for your stuff.
Exactly. This bill, he goes on, Governor Abbott goes on to continue. This bill prohibits insurance providers from forcing Texas policyholders to subsidize elective abortions. I am grateful to the Texas legislature for getting this bill to my desk and working to protect innocent life this special session. God, this man, I wish he was in Ohio. Instead, we got some piece of shit that doesn't vote at all. House Bill 214, which the House passed last week and the Senate approved Sunday, applies to elective, quote-unquote, abortions and specifically includes an exemption for cases of medical emergency to save the mother's life, which I am in agreement for. As I stated earlier, if the mother's life is in danger and she did not previously know, there's a difference. If she was like, oh yeah, I had the testing done, I knew that I might die, and she went and she decided to have sex and got pregnant, which is willingly, because if you're going to do that, knowingly that you're going to potentially die, you deserve such instead of murdering somebody else. Am I wrong? No? Okay, good. Since, you're the only other person here, and I know you don't disagree, so I don't give a shit what anybody else says. Because realistically, somebody's dying somewhere, right? You're either going to murder a brand new child that has the potential to embrace Jesus, or you're going to kill somebody who voluntarily decided to just whore around. Right? No? Okay, good. My turn again.
This is why we don't talk about this topic.
This is why we don't do this. Steve is just rambling on. Here's another quote. What we're saying here is, if you want to buy this coverage, you can buy it. This is Republican Representative John Smithy said during the House debate. This isn't about who can get an abortion. It is about who is forced to pay for it. Thank you! It is simple. If you want to murder a child, that's fine. Go to hell.
That's not. I don't want to pay for it.
I don't want to flip that bill. I pay for enough shit.
It's like everything else. I don't want to pay for your food stamps. I don't want to pay for your health care. I don't want to pay for your house. And I sure as hell don't want to pay for you murdering someone else.
Texas, this is a quote again. Texas must take steps to prohibit taxpayer and premium dollars from subsidizing abortions that are not medically necessary, Republican Senator Brandon Creighton said.
Not medically necessary, Steve.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, incest is wrong. Rape is wrong. And
nobody's arguing those things though.
no, and if the mother is going to die, it's not wrong. It is. I would deem in that instance it is medically necessary. Personally, that is what I would deem. But if you're gonna be just an absolute piece of shit, you're having a kid. Congratulations, Opa!
The worst part of this is the argument against was the argument we already dispelled about the whole rape.
Get it?
We already talked about this. It's like an incredibly small percentage.
1%.
And those, in some cases, are deemed medically necessary.
Which, in some cases, that's fine. That's fine. Because in some cases, but as we literally just described, 1%
is not the majority.
1 is, I mean, last time I took math.
It was a while ago. I've been out of school.
It's not higher than 99%.
Nobody wants to pay for your stuff.
No, don't make me pay for your shit. That's you want a sex change? That's fine. Go be degenerate somewhere else.
I don't want to pay for it.
I don't want to pay for it. You want to be a degenerate? You want to have a child murdered? Go ahead. Fine. That's cool. I don't want to pay for it. That's it. I don't give a shit. Go to Colombia. They're murdering children for free. Go down to where's popping right now? Venezuela. They are.
I'm not sure we have the same definition of popping.
We should talk about that next week because Venezuela is actually a really good time. Anyway,
we'll see.
This is good news. Texas. I think I'm going to move to Texas. Texas.
All my exes are from there.
Yeah, and they also kiss men.
No, that's why I hang my hat in Tennessee. People are like, "What the hell is he talking about right now?"
Next topic.
It's all right. We got to move on. I'm too upset already.
Yeah, see, you know what? You killed me. Former Los Altos baseball player sues coach after being benched.
I should have known the whole time I could have sued my coach for not getting enough playing time.
Tyler, he claimed bullying. He claimed he was bullied.
Are we sure he just wasn't terrible?
Now, I'm going to say it at the beginning, but a friend of the show who has sent in emails and topics before, his name is Mike. He is a high school baseball coach. And I was like, hey, Mike, hey, man, what do you think about this? And he told me. So
Let me guess. The kid was not very good, and his parents are assholes.
Well, it's somewhere close to that. Let's go ahead and let's dive into a little more of the topic first. A former Los Altos high school student and baseball player is suing the school district and his former coach for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because
$150,000 to be exact.
Because the coach repeatedly benched him. So this dude rode the pine. He rode the pine, and he's suing for hundreds of thousands of dollars. What does this say to you? Before I continue reading, I want to ask your opinion. It says what? I need some money.
I mean, if I was bullied, $150,000 would make me forget about it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was bullied through high school, and
we're not joking about bullying. We're joking about him being a money-grabbing degenerate.
I mean, yeah, realistically, I beat the shit out of my bullies, but I mean, my bullies bullied me how many times? 1, and then they didn't ever again.
Isn't that what they used to tell him? Like, you get bullied, punch him in the mouth, and then they'll
punch
never
him in the mouth.
Again.
You know what they did? They lost a couple teeth. It was great.
It also works if you sue them for $150,000.
Absolutely.
I don't understand how being on the bench, you're not good enough to play, so you should sue for $150K. I don't know where that number comes from. He pulled it out of his ass.
Well, there's another topic. Hold on. According to the suit, the school's head varsity baseball coach, Gabriel Lopez, repeatedly refused to let 17-year-old Robbie Lopez, who has no relation, play throughout his senior year. The suit claims this constituted a pattern of harassment and bullying. Well, let's be realistic. Maybe this kid sucked ass.
I just hope this kid's ready for the real world when he gets a job.
Honestly, God.
You're not good enough to be CEO. Sorry, we're gonna have to fire you. You're not worth the promotion. Is he gonna sue him? Is that what he's gonna do?
Yeah, he might.
He might. I'm worth it. I've been here. I'm a senior.
Now the teenager and his parents are seeking $150,000, which we talked about before, or more.
Or more.
According to the suit.
Well, they'll take more if they can get it, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, see. Yes. We like $350,000. Yes. See.
Made my pain go away.
Get fucked. Among the incidents the suit singles out is the annual alumni game in which the varsity team plays against former Los Altos players. It states that, quote unquote, the game is supposed to be a fun day, especially for seniors on the team, and that every senior on the team played except for Robbie Lopez. Well,
if I ever had a fun day that went wrong, I just know I can sue. That's apparently the value of a fun day being ruined is $150K.
A fun day. The boy's father, Robert Lopez II, believed the coach's decision to bench his son throughout the season was because he complained to the district's athletic director after a disagreement over a fundraising game.
I guarantee this man's dad is a lawyer, or his mom. Someone in this family is definitely a lawyer.
Man.
Has to be.
The lawsuit also claimed the teenager had been a starter for 3 years prior to Coach Lopez being hired. What do you guys say about that? He was a starter. 3 years.
Before he was hired. Maybe the coach had a different opinion.
But
are we not allowed to have opinions anymore?
No. Just so happens, like I said before, Mike, he's a high school baseball coach. The head high school baseball coach. You know what? He read the article, and he felt that maybe there was a strong sense that the player was more or less an absolute asshole and refused to follow the coach's rules. Now, that is not obvious or fact because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't really have both sides of this story, right?
But from my experience personally as Steve of Steve and Tyler Show, I coach youth football.
Oh, you're Steve?
And I am Steve.
I'm Tyler. Hey,
and the kids who didn't follow rules during football, they were what? They were disciplined. Now, I'm not saying they sat out months and months of games, but I am saying that you made wrong mistakes. What do you get? You get disciplined. Absolutely. Now, Mike, who is our friend of the show, also feels that maybe the father of the player has a habit or has a bit of daddy ball, quote unquote. Now,
like a small LeVar Ball?
Now, well, yeah.
Except one of them
is too big, too strong.
Never lost.
Never lost. I think you're full of shit, LeVar. But anyway, daddy ball, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's the parents who feel that their children are the best and should play all the time no matter what because they're the best. Obviously, that is sarcasm. If you can't pick up on it, then you shouldn't watch the show anymore. Please go ahead and tell your friends about us. I mean, let's be real.
The worst part of this entire article, right, is where they reference a case that they try and bring a relation to where a cheerleader was sexually harassed. And the father won $100,000. And they say that their case of their son being benched is more egregious.
Oh, man.
More than this sexual harassment example.
Man, that ain't right.
Steve, I don't mean to be like you, right? But just one time.
Are you about to?
Are you kidding me?
Oh man, he took my thing.
Sorry.
He took my dingus. No, I mean, but seriously, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to say that women are better than men or men that are better than women because they're not. I don't believe they are.
How can you equate these two scenarios where
Exactly.
your son didn't play
Absolutely.
sexual harassment.
You cannot
and then
compare
you
the
sued for more money than they won in the sexual harassment case.
The worst part is they're probably going to get it because this country is stupid.
Yeah, they'll probably settle outside.
Yeah, I mean they'll settle. Yeah, you know what? You wanted 150, we'll give you 120. Oh, okay, yes,
120, 110. You know, that new Lambo. All of a sudden, I felt a lot better after I got my Lambo. All the pain I felt just evaporated. It's like magic.
That just paid for their future in that family. Anyway,
Unbelievable.
It's disgusting. It really is. Now, Tyler, this next topic just...
We thought about moving this topic to the end to end on a high note.
I got to be honest. Because I play fantasy football.
It is just too
And
funny.
at a high level. I play for money. And this is absolutely hysterical. And I'm going to laugh. I'm probably piss my pants. I should get diapers for this.
It's too funny.
This is just too good. ESPN criticized for fantasy football auction. Now, for those of you who apparently live under a rock,
never heard of ESPN before,
because this one was big. ESPN has legitimately fired people for their beliefs. I know for a fact Sage Steele. She was a tall basketball player who covered basketball.
I'm very shocked.
Apparently she was Republican, and apparently she got unemployed really quick. And I watched the video. I watched the auction.
I wouldn't even call it. I mean, this is a real.
It's not an auction. It's a legitimate fantasy football drafting scenario. If anything, it leaves equal opportunity for every player. This is actually one of the more liberal options. Just saying. I mean, it's ESPN. I mean, like they fired people, Tyler, for being Republican, and they're gonna. I don't understand. This is common. This is incredibly common in fantasy football.
They do it every year.
They did issue an apology. They do it every year.
Of course they issued an apology.
But why?
Well,
why do you have to apologize?
Because the leftist media will eat you alive.
Who gives a shit? ESPN, you know what their numbers are? Shit. This is common. This is literally people, millions of people do this every year.
I should have known it was racist. I just can't play fantasy football.
I mean, you see what OBJ said? And for those of you who don't know, because I love football. I love it. Love it. Odell Beckham Jr.
Football player.
If he's a football player, he's a pro ball player. You get offended. What? Why? Why?
I mean, they did only.
What are you?
Didn't they get auctioned off for like $38?
Who gives a shit? You are allotted a certain amount when you enter this auction draft. You have like not $200, but like $300. Something. You have a specific amount of money that you are allowed to spend on per player, or yada yada yada, in your draft. So you have to be. What's the word?
Disciplined.
Fickle. Yes, disciplined. Huh. How about that? And it's common. This happens all the fucking time. And the players, they pretend to be offended and insulted. What?
I think they're just offended right now. Like all of a sudden, they got offended.
You know, Tyler, the
article tries to relate this to the Charlottesville thing. For no reason whatsoever at the end. They're like, by the way, this was right after Charlottesville. Like, what does fantasy football?
You know what? My thing is
to do with Charlottesville.
My thing is eat shit. And I mean a fucking huge sandwich with no cheese,
no bread.
No bread, just a huge shit sandwich. You get paid millions and millions of dollars every year. And some players, like OBJ,
are overpaid as shit. Oh, sorry.
Every game! Every game you made one catch. One catch. You made one fantastic. And I mean,
that was a good catch.
And I think everybody will be in agreement when they say that was one of the most fantastic catches they've ever seen. But you get paid that every week. And it's nothing new. This is nothing new. And it's certainly nothing racist. Absolutely not. If you call this racist, then literally every single thing ever is racist. Because why not? Well, I bought white bread today. Well, I guess you didn't buy black bread. You're a piece of shit. Oh, okay. I guess I guess I gotta go back and I gotta buy 2 loaves of black bread. I mean, like, good God, get over yourself,
Steve.
You degenerate fuck.
We tell a lot of the same recurring jokes on this show, like the dick pics joke.
You gotta get a bleep
Steven
button. You
Tyler
really
show.
got. You gotta need a bleep
But
button.
we've been joking for a while that eventually everything is gonna be racist. And now Charlottesville happened, and now everything is indeed racist.
I mean, what's
Last
next?
week it was butter. This week fantasy football. Next week, who knows? Walking down the street might be racist.
I mean, in my 6th fault. But anyway, Tyler, what are most of the people in the NFL? They are black. Because you're faster, stronger, and you're typically bigger. And typically, most of the people who play fantasy football are white.
We're going to have to shut down the NFL.
Oh, I'm going to call Roger Goodell.
Actually, we should have joked about that. Our podcast seems to have a lot of influence.
Oh, well,
I've seen Gavin McInnes likes to steal our stories.
Oh man, you're about to call it. You're about to call it a dragon.
Listen, he stole our stories. It's clear he watches our podcast. If you don't know who he is, right after we released our podcast about Dunkirk and that being racist, he did like a whole movie segment. It's pretty obvious he watched our podcast.
Gavin, Uhuru, and PYOB. Just saying. This is Steve. Yakum.
Anyway,
shameless plug, please.
I'm trying just to say, please don't take the NFL away. The sports season right now is awful. I'm dying inside.
I mean, I think Tyler and I have discussed this.
I miss football.
And I miss football. I also miss hockey. We have talked about doing a sports segment. So if y'all agree or disagree,
last episode, nobody even sent us an email.
I want feedback. I need feedback from y'all motherfuckers who don't want to talk to us. Please send us feedback. Moving on, Tyler. The Lincoln Memorial, Tyler. The Lincoln Memorial, which is where in D.C., was vandalized with red spray paint. Someone vandalized the Lincoln Memorial, the National Park Service said. The words, fuck law, were found written in red spray paint early Tuesday on a pillar at the monument that overlooks the Capitol building and National Mall. NPS said Tuesday afternoon the graffiti was found at 4:30 a.m.
All right, let us clarify first. We still try to report on underreported news, and that's why we're not going to talk about Charlottesville.
True story.
But there were a couple stories that we saw that apparently nobody else talked about for some reason.
Which, this is one of them.
And so that's how this story came about. I didn't want to interrupt you, Steve.
No, I mean...
Gotta clarify.
You gotta be clear.
Don't want to hear about people telling us how we sold out.
Now, I got a quote here. It's frustrating not only for the Park Service, but certainly for the visitors that come here, that anyone would vandalize any of our iconic memorials, especially the Lincoln Memorial, especially with everything that's going on now. The calls for unity and people to come together. NPS spokesman Mike Litterst said, "No shit, guy."
This is the Lincoln Memorial we're talking about.
I mean the Lincoln Memorial. So
he freed the slaves.
I mean,
I'm not sure if you knew that, Steve.
I mean, Tyler. So I mean, like, let's specify for those who are absolutely retarded. The Emancipation Proclamation was signed by who, Tyler?
I believe it was Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, the man who freed the slaves!
Now, of course, you can sit here and argue he only freed the ones in the South, but that's irrelevant.
I mean,
he
that is
freed the slaves.
What did he do? He freed the slaves. He wanted who had actually the majority of the slaves? The Northerners! But hey, who fucking looks at history anymore? Seeing as how you degenerate twats are tearing it down. But hey, what do I know? He did what to slavery? Fucking ended it. Literally with a pen stroke. On paper, he ended slavery. Because he said, hey, if you can get to the North, fight for us. You know what you got? Freedom. You want to know why? Because we'll fucking give it to you. We'll give you land and freedom. So, in my opinion, anybody who goes out of their way to deface a memorial to a man who freed the slaves and was a president who won the Civil War, you're disgusting. And you are useless. And you know what also? I bet you're still living in your parents' basement. You got no ambition.
Maybe it's like a penthouse suite basement, though.
To be a contributing member to society. You're a degenerate, and you're a useless piece of shit.
There's been a lot of topics this week where they have like random things where they try and connect these stories to previous stories. And this one, they talk about a bizarre incident in 2013. When a woman threw green paint on the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington National Cathedral. But she was later found to be incompetent. And I think this might be the first time where it finally relates. Because these people are clearly incompetent.
Clearly! You know, Tyler, you know how I feel about this. I think we should move on to the next topic, which happens to be relating to this first one.
Yeah, the next sort of couple are, but...
Well, I mean, we did this on purpose. Pastor wants president's names removed from Washington. Jackson Parks over ties to slavery. You're a piece of shit. A Chicago pastor has asked that the Emanuel administration to remove the names of two presidents who owned slaves from parks on the south side, saying the city should not honor slave owners in black communities. Which, okay, I gotta be honest. In that sense, I do 100% agree.
If you're Washington? You think they should get rid of Washington?
I mean, hey, you know how many Washingtons that are black? A lot of them! Anyway. I feel that if Africans don't want to deal with the fact that, say there's a George Washington statue in your neighborhood, okay, you don't want to pay for it because it is public, it is taxpayer money. That's fine. You should be able to retract that or put in a bill or something, and that should be publicly funded. I'm okay with that. I actually 100% okay with that. But if you want to tear it down because you feel that it's racist and you want to erect a statue that...
Wait, who do they want to replace these things with, Steve?
Well, I mean...
that's right! A giant racist and a pedophile! Oh!
A white pedophile in the end!
These people are just don't understand what's going on anymore.
See, now before we get to there, because it is fucking hysterical, a bronze statue of George Washington on horseback stands at the corner of 51st and King Drive at the northwest entrance to Washington Park. Don't get me wrong, okay? You got a bronze statue of George Washington on horseback? You know what I'll do? Bring that shit into my front yard.
Probably give it a salute.
You know what George Washington did for you? Us? Everybody? I'm pretty sure that he cut them dividers right there and said, hey, listen here, King George. No! Not having none of that. His wooden teeth and all.
His wooden teeth.
But seriously, he did suffer. He had issues. Now, this bishop, James Dukes, pastor of Liberation Christian Center, said he wants the statue gone, and he wants George Washington's name removed from the park. Man, I don't understand it. Why is it you claim because he's a slave owner? Now, realistically, even because he's a slave owner, was he the only one? Nope. Were the blacks the only ones enslaved? Nope. But hey, what do I know? I'm only Irish. Well, what does that have to do with it? Hey, Tyler, you know what that's got to do with it. You're pasty as shit.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, we're both Irish. You know what that means? We were both slaves at one point. Right?
We should go tear down some monuments.
I think I should climb a ladder. Here's a quote from this from this gentleman. When I see that, I see a person who fought for the liberties, and I see people that fought for the justice and freedom of white America. This fucking piece of shit quoted white America. That irks me. That irks me to my fucking core. Because at that moment, we were still chattel slavery. And was 3/5 of humans, he said. That was quoted. This is another quote. Some people out here ask me, say, well, he taught his slaves to read. That's almost sad. The equivalent of someone who kidnaps you, that you gave them something to eat. Listen here. You know what the Russians did? Way back when? I believe there's a very famous quote that reads, don't let the Serbs learn to read, because then they'll revolt against you. You're welcome! What a piece of shit! He knew from the absolute onset that every man was created equal, and that even though you did the hard labor, which you were paid to do, that you deserve the opportunity to read. So, I have another quote here, but I feel that I'm already way past that because I'm pissed. How can you sit there and insult the first president of this great country, which you continue to live? You don't want to live here? Get the fuck out. You're a pastor. You're a pastor. You went and actively sought this. I'm sorry, not a pastor, a bishop. You actively sought this in this country. To do what? Apparently fight this. Because you're a piece of shit degenerate. You can preach for God all you want. You're an absolute disgrace. You're going to fight for God? No, absolutely not. You've made that position very clear. You're a degenerate and you deserve nothing.
Steve, tell them about who they want to replace the names with. I sort of already hinted at it.
Yeah, we already did, but I believe the names were... Now, this first name is actually a name that I 100% agree with. Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, that sounds like a good gun-toting Republican to me.
Oh, because he was! Oh my God! Mind blown, no shit! Oh my God, who knew that? I did. Martin Luther King was a Republican, and he carried. Bet y'all motherfuckers didn't know that. And Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson is also
who might be the biggest racist on the face of the earth.
I don't know. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton.
And Al Sharpton are 1 and 2. They straight up are racist.
I gotta be honest. Jesse Jackson's a piece of shit. But you know what he did? He also honored currently President Donald Trump. Just saying, not once, but at least twice. But hey, what do I know? I only looked at video. And now this last name is absolutely the funniest because it's Michael Jackson.
A white pedophile.
Who died white.
Unbelievable.
You're kidding me. So you want to honor was he black when he started raping kids, or was he white?
I don't really know the answer to that, to be honest.
How do you think his statue would go? Would you think it would be with him like on his tippy toes grabbing his dick?
I'm sure he'd be like holding a child out the window or something.
I gotta be honest. That'd be my statue, like with his with this fedora grabbing his fucking balls and just
every time you walk by, all you hear is
right there. I mean, every time. That'd be the pose I'd do. Just saying.
We're just trying to erase history, Steve. That's what it comes down to right now. If you don't agree, we'll tear it down. Maybe we'll get we'll build a bigger safe space for you.
Tyler, did you have ancestors that fought in the war, the Civil War?
I don't know, to be honest.
I did. They fought in the North, and I mean, apparently we won.
Yeah, we did good.
I mean, hey, we were winners. Guessings are winners, but I gotta say, that didn't mean shit. Why would you erase that? I mean, Hitler still got a book out, right?
Yeah, which you can't.
He lost. He lost big. Lenin got a book out, right? Mussolini, he's got quotes out, right? They lost big.
Well, what do they say, Steve? Those who forget history are doomed to repeat it?
Oh, something so simple, but very clear.
Next story, Steve.
Antifa, which, oh my God! Antifa absolutely irks me to my...
These people, they didn't even vandalize the right statue, Steve.
Protesters vandalized Peace Monument. Not even the right, correct...
I'm not sure. Do you think they knew that it was a peace monument, or they're just too dumb to tell?
I gotta be honest, they're liberals. They were way too dumb to tell. They vandalized a peace monument they thought was a Confederate statue. You are beyond stupid, you twats. Antifa protesters marched on Piedmont Park in Atlanta, Georgia this week, bent on destroying the quote-unquote Confederate monument. They said it was encouraging racism in their community. Okay, so... But it was only after they'd vandalized and spray painted the statue that they realized it was a peace monument designed to encourage national healing in the wake of the Civil War. So, in the wake of, meaning it was after the fucking war. You retards decided to vandalize and paint and destroy a monument that was created and erected after the war to encourage peace. Yet, oh, that's all right. It was made around then. We don't give a shit about that.
It was a little racist towards them. I'm sure the statue said something, and they had to tear it down.
A little. It was.
They couldn't even tear down the right statue, Steve.
They're degenerates, Tyler. Once they got to Piedmont Park, black-clad members of Antifa attacked the statue, spraying it with paint, putting a chain around its neck, and attempting, unsuccessfully, to drag the giant statue off its base. When they realized they couldn't topple the behemoth, they disbanded, but not before causing serious damage, which they did. Now, unfortunately for Antifa, who were clearly too busy opposing fascism to read a plaque, the plaque that was there.
I'm sure it was in big letters, Steve.
I'm sure it was in bold face too at the base of the monument.
Probably said "For Peace,"
which is printed with the words, Tyler, "Cease firing. Peace is priceless." Now,
what do you stand for if you're not for peace?
Absolute hatred and control.
Well, that sounds about right. Maybe they did get the right statue.
Sounds a whole lot like
Antifa.
Yeah,
sounds
exactly.
Right. Maybe they did get the right statue.
Take your mask off, pussies. The statue, which depicts an angel. God, that irks me. It really does. When you bring Jesus or anything into it, and no. Guiding a Confederate soldier, not a Northern soldier, but a Confederate soldier, to lay down his arms, was erected in 1911. This was after the war, before the First World War. Okay. And a part of an organized effort in Atlanta to encourage peace and healing in the wake of a bloody and destructive era in the state's history. This is an absolute peace symbol to its core. Because God reached out to his people and he said, "Hey man, you're stupid." But seriously, right? They're trying to do something right. You guys can deal with it in your own way. Let's go about it. I mean, but seriously, that's what happened. With a whole lot more bloodshed. And he did it. And God prevailed true. So I have to say, I mean, how dare you attempt to tear down something that initiates peace among those who commit
next?
violence?
What's next?
You know what's next. I mean, Abraham Lincoln's coming down. Everybody's coming out. It's going to be black on black on black.
We're just going to tear everything down.
Black's got to reign supreme. 13% of the population commits 50% of the violent crime. And you know what? 100% of the influence.
Apparently.
That's what they're aiming for. Antifa, which is primarily white. How? How do you feel so bad about the color of your skin that you're, you know what, black people are awesome?
You can't take pride in being white, Steve, obviously.
Absolutely not. If you wave a flag around. You know what, there was something today. While we were show prepping, a woman in Boston, she was just holding an American flag. American flag, 50 states, proud. And some Antifa piece of shit came around, and he bumped into her. And then he was like, he got all pissed off, and he grabbed their flag. And he dragged her. Now, granted, some bitch got to be strong. I mean, like, that. You got to drag somebody. That's strong. But he dragged her. And then he let go. And I don't remember seeing this poor woman grab her flag. But she was hurt. She needed medical attention. Why do you hate something so much that gives you every right that you have to do what you do?
We gave them the right to hate us.
You were granted the ability to show hatred because of the rights that you have been given by the forefathers who you are protesting. Am I correct in this?
Yep.
Well, just saying. Now, the Durham sheriff arrests...
Now, let me tell you, this story warms my... Another great story that warms my heart just a little bit.
Gotta tell you, this is a good one. Durham sheriff arrested a ladder climber in Confederate statue destruction. Fuck you. The protester who climbed a ladder to help bring down a Confederate soldier statue was arrested Tuesday, and Sheriff Mike Andrews said his office will pursue felony charges against others. Fuck you. He said, yep.
Slow clap. Thank God. They're finally doing something halfway intelligent.
Absolutely. He said, quote, "Let me be clear. No one is getting away with what happened," Andrews said. Good! Takaya Thompson, I don't know, whatever the fuck her African name is, a member of Workers' World Party. Huh, that sounds way too close to something communist. And student at NC Central University was arrested after activists held a press conference at NCCU Tuesday afternoon. Good. In a release, Thompson said she was the one who tied a rope around the soldier's neck so that the others could pull the statue to the ground. Well, at least she admitted her faults. I do have to say that is rather adult of her, and that most in her situation would say, nah, a friend did it. I can't say that.
It's true.
Thompson was charged, though, with participation in a riot with property damage in excess of $1,500, which is a Class H felony, and inciting others to riot where there is property damage in excess of $1,500, which is a Class F felony.
I hope they arrest more people, Steve.
Said the sheriff's office. Absolutely. Arrest all those degenerate pieces of shit.
These people are literally destroying property.
Now, to my knowledge, I'm not going to quote anybody or anything to this point. The last I read, this statue, particularly in this story that came down, was not licensed to come down. It was tore down by degenerates.
Vandalism. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Vandals.
These felonies should stand. You get your ass in prison because you're a fucking piece of shit. There is much more important things to talk about than statues. Leave them stand. If you want to be black and you want to be offended, that's on you. That's fine. And it's accepted.
For what it's worth. Did you
understand?
Did you watch the video where they tear it down?
Yeah, I seen it. It was disgusting.
You know, the people that stomp on it are a bunch of white dudes.
All of them. Because they're all trying, oh, well, I got a lot of black people watching me, so I got to make up for lost time. You're a piece of shit. All
It's
you are.
White supremacy, plain and simple, and it had to go, Steve.
You're an apologetic piece of shit. You're disgusting. And nobody on this side wants you here.
They're just
Next
criminals.
topic!
They're just
They are
criminals.
disgusting.
Steve,
we could talk about
we
this
gotta
for hours.
end. We gotta end. You know, this has been a pretty heavy episode. I think this might be our heaviest episode. We gotta end on a little lighter note because you know we try to keep it fun here.
We got a
Pop up Cheetos Restaurant opening in New York City. What a great country we live in.
Tyler knows more about this than I do, but Frito-Lay is getting in on New York City's restaurant week by opening a pop-up eatery with a menu full of Cheetos-themed cuisine. Cheetos.
The Spotted Cheetah, it's gonna be called.
I see that.
It's open for 3 days. Of course, it's all sold out already. I've already looked into this because I live out in this area.
It's Cheetos.
And I was disappointed because I would totally frickin' go there.
So for you? I mean, like
Cheetos?
Not to that extent. Nay, negative.
Oh my god.
$8 to $22 per dish. Actually, in New York, that ain't bad. I mean, I gotta lie.
I feel like this is just a giant marketing gimmick, but what a great country we live in where you can open a restaurant. It's all Cheetos. Cheetos crusted fried pickles, Cheetos mac and cheese, and Cheetos Sweetos cheesecake.
Now, Cheetos mac and cheese would be really good. I stand by that. Stand by it! Now...
It's Cheetos. What's not to love?
Recipes created by fans inspired the company to quote-unquote, bring a full Cheetos culinary experience to life.
I want to see Chef Ramsay out here, and he's whipping some Cheetos around. Like,
oh my god!
Look at me whip this around.
You know why?
The Cheetos are fucking raw.
That's my favorite quote by Chef Ramsay. Why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know, Chef. Because it was fucking raw.
I'm more of a fan of the where he puts 2 pieces of bread on the side of her face, and he goes, "What are you?" And she goes, "An idiot sandwich, Chef." And he goes, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Oh, that's so good.
But Cheetos, man. Now I didn't really see this story too much, but if you're in New York and you already have a reservation, please let me tag along.
Absolutely.
Because I would eat a whole bunch of stuff.
I would eat your face. Next story.
I told you, we're ending light. I told you we're ending light.
We are ending very late. Man hit brother with bat over tacos. Now, this is absolutely as bad as it sounds. August 11th. Incest that he would have to share Taco Bell tacos with his brother, who brought the takeout food home. An Alabama man grabbed a baseball bat and struck his sibling in the head. The police alleged.
I can't do this. You gotta be kidding me.
I mean,
the man said, my brother brought back some food and some food for myself. I had a soft drink and he had water. He would not share the tacos. He was also angry about not getting a soft drink himself, and he beat him with a bat. This is fantastic news. This is news reporting at its finest.
I mean, come on.
This is the definition of first world problems.
I mean, really?
Now, of course,
what?
He got a felony, but I'm sure it was worth it because those Doritos Locos Tacos, on point.
Absolutely on point. Absolutely on point.
Now, I don't know if they're felony worthy, but maybe that'll become their new company tagline: Taco Bell. It's felony worthy.
It's so good to make you commit murder.
Well, Steve, don't get yourself a soft drink and me a water. That's what I learned.
Absolutely
also,
not. Can't do it.
Why didn't he get him the Mountain Dew Freeze? Like
the Baja Blast.
Yeah.
That's the go-to.
I think that's why he got beat. I think the whole water thing's a little shady. Baja Blast Freeze is where it's at.
I mean, I gotta be honest. This is all really, really dumb. Really dumb. I don't feel like I need to explain this absolute garbage.
It's still worth a read. We didn't want to end with something super serious.
Absolutely not. This was incredible.
This was an incredibly serious episode compared to all the other ones.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We had to end light.
But it's got to end at some point. And you can go ahead and follow us on Twitter at @SteveTyler_show. Please send us.
Please.
God, I am begging. Lord, please send us your advice, insight, dick pics, jokes, absolute trash.
Stuff you want us to talk about?
SteveandTylerShow@gmail.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes and follow us on Podbean at The Steve and Tyler Show. Thank you for your time, everybody, and thank you for listening. God bless you.
America. Oh, man, we screwed that
up.
God
bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.